I installed that cool custom stealth bike mount for my AirTag, and I finally have a chance to use it on my bikepacking trip resupply for some peace of mind. If my bike gets snagged by an opportunistic thief, I'll just call the cops, whip out my phone, and track that robber down and get some justice. Well, not exactly. What would actually happen could be very different. And in today's video, I'm going to show you why you may regret using an Apple AirTag or tile sticker for your anti-theft device on your bike. Hey guys, Dylan here with the Seasoned Bikepacker, where I share unbiased reviews, tips, tricks, and general information about bikepacking gear, routes, and strategies. Bluetooth network trackers like Apple AirTags and Life 360 tile stickers are some pretty impressive technology. If you've been living under a rock and haven't heard about them, they are small battery-powered devices that connect through Bluetooth to neighboring iPhones or Android devices and report their location back to you, the owner. Now, this is fantastic if you lose things like your wallet, keys, remote, or tools. One of the most common concerns for most bikepackers isn't mountain lions or falling off a steep cliff at 2 a.m. It's the potential of bike theft while you're out resupplying back in civilization. Perhaps if you're bike touring, you'd be carrying a decent heavy bike lock. But if you're bikepack racing, you're trying to shave off every gram and a massive U-lock just doesn't make it in the packing list. So many bikepackers simply leave their rigs in front of the convenience store and hope when they come out with their goodies that their bike is still sitting there. This gives me anxiety. So when I first found out about Apple AirTags, I thought, this is it. This is the solution. I picked one up, installed it in a discreet location on my bike, and went on my way thinking all is good. Then, during the research for this video, I found out about Stalker Mode.
This sound plays autonomously when an unknown AirTag has been moving with you over time.
And my opinion on these things got turned completely upside down. If you are hoping an AirTag will prevent bike theft, this is your public service announcement. There is a slim chance it's going to work like you've imagined it, and it should only be used as your last resort, Hail Mary sort of option. Now, the tile sticker has some interesting new features they've recently released, but it comes at a very steep sacrifice, which I'll cover later on. But first, let's jump into the AirTags. AirTags are ideal for finding misplaced or lost items.
Keys.
A common misconception is they can be used for anti-theft, and this is just not what they were designed for. The main feature that compromises their anti-theft capabilities is called Stalker Mode. See, a stalker could slip an AirTag into your bag and have access to your location at all times. So Apple responded to this threat and created this safety feature to allow anyone with an iPhone to see that there is an unknown AirTag close to them, and it'll make an audible beeping sound.
If you receive a notification that says AirTag found moving with you, tap the alert. Then tap Continue. Find My displays a map with red dots and dashed lines where the AirTag was detected near your device, and the approximate sequence where it was detected. Tap Play Sound, then listen for the sound. Tap Instructions to disable AirTag and follow the on-screen instructions.
They've designed the network so it doesn't ping if you're on public transportation, around many other unknown AirTags, or with a friend. They only start pinging when the AirTag is separated from its owner. Now, this is really great for stalker avoidance, but not so great if your bike gets stolen. If the bike thief has an iPhone, sometime after 30 minutes, they'll get a notification that there's an unknown AirTag on the bike, and they even get the option to play a sound to narrow down its location. Of course, they'll simply search for it and remove it. Apple doesn't offer any sort of anti-theft activation option, which turns Stalker Mode off due to their company privacy policies. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their engineers' brainstorming sessions about how they're trying to solve this problem. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. I'd also be interested to see what actually happens if a thief walks off with my bike while I'm inside Circle K grabbing a snack. I've watched a few videos on YouTube with some different YouTubers documenting their bike theft experience. There's a really good video here and another one here. And there's also some really good information from a lawyer talking about a motorcycle theft case where there was an Apple AirTag involved, and that one is here. So there might be some legal limitations, and an AirTag location isn't enough probable cause for a search warrant. Either way, if the bike gets stashed at someone's property, the Fourth Amendment protects them from unlawful search and seizure. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. In order to obtain a search warrant, a judge would have to decide if there is enough probable cause with the pinging AirTag to justify that search warrant to recover the bike. So to wrap up this section, if your AirTag bike gets stolen, it's likely the AirTag will be discovered and removed after 30 minutes. If not, and you are able to get a police officer to pursue the AirTag's location alongside with you, they only have the legal right to knock on doors and start up conversation with the suspect, hoping that they self-incriminate and reveal that they stole the bike. If this doesn't work out and you know your bike is inside the property, you'll have to complete a stolen property report and go before a judge to prove probable cause to justify issuing a search warrant. There has got to be a better way. And this is where my research brought me to the next section, which is the tile sticker device. One of Apple's biggest competitors in this realm is the Life 360 tile sticker. It operates similarly to the AirTag Bluetooth network, where it constantly pings off nearby devices to provide a location to the owner. The big difference with the tile sticker is they do offer an anti-theft mode where the device is virtually hidden to everybody except the owner and can't be seen while scanning for it. This is excellent, exactly what I'm looking for. But can't this feature be used if you're a nefarious stalker? Life 360 has some pretty steep requirements to activate this service. In order to activate anti-theft mode, users must 1. Go through an advanced ID verification process, 2. Agree to a possible $1 million fine.
How about no?
For any individual convicted in court of law for using the tile device to illegally track any individual without their knowledge or consent. And 3, users must acknowledge that personal information can and will be shared with law enforcement at their discretion, even without a subpoena, to aid in the investigation and prosecution of suspected stalking. So this solves the stalker mode problem from the AirTags, but it doesn't really do anything for the Fourth Amendment search and seizure issue. Also, I want to reiterate that the last acknowledgement you have to agree to for the anti-theft mode, it essentially says when you activate anti-theft mode with the tile sticker, you are completely waiving your legal privacy rights. From that point forward, Life 360 has the right to freely share the location data of that tile sticker with anybody, including law enforcement. It says it right there in the privacy policy. We may disclose personal information to third parties, including law enforcement, other government entities, or civil litigants, excluding our subcontractors, when required to do so by law or subpoena, or if in our sole discretion, we determine it is necessary. So for me, this complete waiving of my legal rights in order to have a tracking device on my bike is a tough sell and something everyone should be very, very wary of. I'm not saying it's not possible to recover your stolen bike if you're using an Apple AirTag or tile sticker. It's worked out with a few of the YouTube videos I mentioned earlier. It is feasible, and I'm going to continue to use one and conceal it as best I can. I'm just not going to rely on it, and if my bike ever gets stolen, I'm going to go into the recovery process with low expectations. I'm going to take a much more proactive approach to avoid theft altogether. So while I'm out making quick stops in towns and cities while bikepacking, I'm going to use one of the more traditional tech-free options. Option 1. Tag team it with your friends. Bikepacking is always more fun with other people. If you aren't racing and instead doing a bikepacking tour with your friends, just simply take turns going into resupply while the other one stays with the bikes. Option 2. Take your bike inside. You'd be surprised how often the workers at the Maverick or Circle K have zero objections to you bringing your bike inside the store and setting it out of the way, especially if you ask nicely and perhaps grease the palms a little bit. Option 3, I gotta shout out the legend Max Morris for this tip. Take off your front wheel and put the bike in the shopping cart with you and simply take it inside the grocery store. Occam's razor, right? And the fourth and least ideal option is to use a brightly colored ultralight lock like the Z-Lock. This little guy has a stainless steel core and weighs only 7 ounces. Although it would be no match for a pair of bolt cutters, it may just be enough of a deterrent for the opportunist thief. I used this lock when I was in Iceland on the Westfjords Way route, and my tip is to buy the combo lock version and not the keyed lock version, since the key can be lost pretty easily. Also, bikepacking.com has a great video on this topic. Some ideas we covered here, but also some additional ideas there, so go check that out here. Well, that wraps up today's video. How do you think an AirTag or tile sticker would fare in your city or town if your bike got stolen? Do you have any creative ideas for bike anti-theft options while bikepacking that I didn't already cover here? If so, make sure to hit up those comments. I really want to hear about it. And thanks for watching, and remember to plan, pack, and pedal.